Well, hello there everyone, Simon here once again with another episode of Skeleton Crew. Happy New Year. It is New Year's Day, very much like last week where the episode fell on Christmas Day. They're making this very festive. But yes, we are here in 2025 with episode number 6 of Skeleton Crew, and we left on a bit of a cliffhanger last week where Jod had hold of a lightsaber. You know, they managed to finally get into the lair of this mysterious pirate captain on this wonderfully ironic spa world. You know, we hear so much about how this is a world for pirates and violence and death, and there's acid pools to dissolve bodies. And as it turns out, you've just got a bunch of Moon in head towels taking mud baths, which I just thought was, you know, hilarious. Again, it's those kind of things that if you don't do them properly, they can come off as really tacky and really cheesy, but I thought the way it was done was really well and just so much fun, you know, because it played into the story, the environment played into the story, and, you know, obviously the kids have learned not necessarily to trust Jod, and there's been a lot of talk over the last week about whether people think that, you know, he's going to redeem himself. I mean, I'll be honest, I saw this coming from a mile away. You know, Jod, whilst, yes, he's not the scoundrel that I think everyone wants, you know, to believe he is, in terms of he's not evil. He does care about the kids. He's genuinely wanted to try and get them home, but only if he can benefit in the meantime. You know, I foresaw a point coming, because it's kind of a typical story cliche where, you know, the kind of grey character, especially if they're involved with kids, might have to make a choice between their own goals and the kids, and some points it might look like they're going to choose themselves, and then it actually turns out later down the line that, you know, they sacrifice what they want to save the kids because deep down they're a good person. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with Jod. As it is, it'll be interesting to see how he handles a lightsaber. You know, we don't know much about his history. Almost 99.9% certain now that he does have force powers. It's not a con, it's not magnets, it's not anything like that. It's just whether he was an actual, you know, Padawan in the Jedi Academy, or did he have powers and was never brought into the Academy. So it'd be interesting to see if we learn more about that. I don't quite know how long this week's episode is. I'm hoping it's not too short. That's, again, my only genuine criticism of this show, as has been the case with a lot of shows, is the short run times. You know, again, 35 minutes, if you take out credits, recaps, intros, is really not enough for an 8-episode series, and especially when you're plugging as much money in as you are if you're Disney. I want to see more. I want to get 12 episodes. If we're going to get short episode lengths, give us 12 episodes. But as it is, you know, these really should be, you know, 50, 55 minutes long, excluding credits. But that's just, you know, the complaint that's been going on for years now. And that's the only complaint I've got against this show. Other than that, I think it's been fantastically fun. I've enjoyed it so much. I love the characters. I think the actors do a fantastic job. You know, the kids, and especially Jude Law, who has really carried this show on his back when it comes to, you know, the acting and the expressions. So why don't we jump in, have a look, and see what happens in episode number 6.
Help! Over here! Hey, V! Hey, V! Are you okay? What's wrong with her?
They talked about a sickness, didn't they?
Sometimes her augs go bad and then she can't move.
Ah.
Okay, KB.
Was it a dodgy job?
Set your occipital link. Come on, help me get her on her side.
Is that what her sickness is? It's just dodgy tech?
Is she gonna be okay?
I love that he's just taken all of the pearls and the gold. And they found him.
I'd like to check out.
Oh, it's one of those stupid aliens from Last Jedi.
Don't move. You're not going anywhere.
Uh-oh.
We've got a very special cabin in our ship.
33! Attack!
Oh, shit. Oh, no. They knew that trick. Oh, shit. There's the New Republic.
She said they were
Yeah, they don't know about them, do they? Oh, shit.
But John said extremes were bad. They left us.
What are they supposed to do? They're chasing pirates.
Bad. Because I have the coordinates home and everything.
Oh, she does.
So it's in your brain? We have to get back to the ship, right? I can't think of any other options. You can't.
Yeah.
So you just assume there aren't any? Hey, KB, why are you... Because if you were actually interested, you'd actually be listening for once. And maybe we'd actually
Oh,
talk
she's
about
telling us some
something.
harsh truths.
Something so important that you want to tell me, then go
Fern
ahead.
is a bit more like Jod than I think she realises.
We're not alone.
Loot crabs! Oh my god, are
They
they...
can talk, and that means they're intelligent. They can help.
Are they...
Wait, sorry.
So they don't loot, they've got...
No.
Wim, we
Is that-
need to climb up to the ship.
Has one of them got the foot of a protocol droid? It does.
Smash all the bones in your body. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I know it's not a game. Really?
You can tell this is the volume.
Fighting. Stop it. Okay? We all need
Something
to
about
work
the
together
background
to
looks
get
a
back to the
little
ship.
bit
No,
off.
that is what I've been saying. These guys are local.
Because you can see, like, the difference in lighting.
To someone who can help.
But I love these little dudes. How did they get all this tech?
I'm with Wim.
Right of last appeal. So says the Pirate's Code.
Oh, it's the code. There's got to be a pirate code, even in Star
right
Wars.
of last appeal must be honored.
Say anything to save his skin.
I can't hear him, he's whispering.
How long have you been hungry? What if there were? Just
Oh, he's going to tell them about the mint.
What if there were a place? where
He's
you
going
have
to tell them
divvy
about
up your
At-Atten.
take? Because your take never ran out.
Glad, my friend. That glowweed plantation. We all
Oh,
know
this
the-
is where he knows all about what they want. He's going to
Imagine
connect
if
on
you
a
could
personal
raise
level.
An entire
He just wants to be a farmer.
ocean.
That'd be something.
He's a Quarren, so of course.
Sword away, away.
I always think, what if Tak Renard is SM33?
And never was he seen again.
There's a song!
If there's no treasure, you're going for a little
Oh no.
ride.
Oh, I love that. No slow opening of the door. True Star Wars. Boom, open door. Explosive decompression. Jeez, I want to know why she's got the augmentations. Who lets a child get cybernetic augmentations? I can only imagine it's for some disease.
Wait! I can't reach between the rungs! I'm sorry, but not everyone can do things the same way you can.
Yep, valuable lesson in leadership.
Is this why you didn't want to climb?
Yeah, she would have died. And Fern didn't care.
You could have just told Fern. Sometimes she's not exactly living in the real world herself. Pull out the resonator housing and remove the microfuse.
So it was an accident.
What's a microfuse?
I'm guessing it was brain damage.
Metal cylinder.
Don't worry, kid, you're just about to perform some very sensitive surgery.
I could run around on a freezing cold moon through a bunch of steam.
Oh, I love the retro look of that.
I'll have zero friends again.
Oh,
Anyway, you could just be friends with me and Neil. Here's this enough. Now pour into the mold.
they're just making a new one. Very clever. Because you can use sand as a mold.
Microfuse.
Dead. No, I think she's fine. She's resetting. And so
That
they
was
are
close.
bonded.
To what? Total system shutdown.
I love she's so cool about it. I almost died.
What?
Probably
thought it would be more exciting to save someone's life. Anyway,
There you go.
thanks, Jedi.
You've saved our life, Wim. See, I really like the character interactions. They don't feel forced. And on the other side, I love this. On the other side, you've just got Fern dragging Neil by a fucking rope. Like, I will drag you up this ladder. Oh no, it's the big mama crab. Uh-oh. Follow your food.
Ma'am? Yeah, we made a new microfuse for her resonator housing and then you saved us!
Yeah, but I never should have left you guys. I'm sorry, I was being
No, you were amazing! And you even got the ship and everything? And me and
Where is the ship, by the
I'm
way?
so sorry for not listening.
No,
There we go. Bit of character growth.
I was afraid to tell you when there's things I can't do.
Oh, of course, there's a disintegrator droid.
Wait, KB, who's gonna fly the ship?
You are.
You are. You've flown it before.
Did it before with John. Just do it again.
Just do it again.
We're too late. No, we're not.
You think that...
I can shoot that thing off.
Yeah, you think it would recognize when there's maybe something that shouldn't be destroyed? It's too invincible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god. So, it's like an escape pod kind of deal? It's just molting. The ship is molting. I'm just trying to figure out the purpose of that. I mean, that looks a lot cooler now. That looks like a sleek ship. Fire! That is pretty cool. Well, you know you're in safe hands with Bryce Dallas Howard. She's done some really good episodes of Star Wars content over the last few years, and that was again a really good episode. A lot of character developments in that one. Again, kind of serves as a bit of a stopgap just to kind of remind us that this isn't just about the action, it's about the characters as well. Because I'm sure, like myself, a lot of you were probably expecting Jod to chase after the kids. We might get some action with the lightsaber. As it is, that wasn't really the case. You know, Jod didn't even get to, use the lightsaber, which I kind of like. I do. I think that lightsabers, just a bit of an odd cat hair there. Lightsabers, I think, are a little bit overused at times. So it's nice when your expectations are kind of subverted. But again, the character development in this was very well done. It doesn't feel forced. And this is what I really like about the character interactions in this show, is that they feel really genuine. It feels like how, you would expect kids to react and talk. They're not wiser than they should be. Again, there is definitely a bit more of a maturity because they have to have this progression. But, they still feel like kids. When it comes to these big situations, they don't know what to do. They panic. They don't know the answers to everything, and they have to learn not just about life, but about each other. And Fern and KB are a perfect example of that. Fern, who is this very overbearing, overpowering figure. KB, who has attached herself onto Fern because she sees her as, a friend, but also as a figure that she can, perhaps be influenced by. But at the same time, because of how, confident and overbearing Fern can be, and how decisive she is. The qualities of a leader, but you have to temper them with wisdom, which Fern, being a kid, she doesn't really have much of, but she got some in this episode. You can see KB is concerned, unable to speak up. And I really liked, her story progression in this, because, again, when I talk about things being very subtle and being done the right way, it doesn't feel like it's forced. What she was talking about in this episode, a lot of people will relate to, in terms of them being different and not being able to do things that someone else might be able to do, and being afraid of talking about those restrictions and those differences. And that, I think, would mean a lot to a lot of people. But it's not in your face as a kind of, this is what we're trying to do. This is the message we're putting across. It's done in a very nice way that helps you empathize and understand what she's talking about. Because we're all like that to some extent. We can all be overbearing. We can all be afraid. We can all be, hesitant to talk about our differences. And we all have differences. We all have things we can't do that someone else can, and that can make us feel inferior. And I think this did a real good job of exposing those fears, and showing you that sometimes being open and honest is the best way forward, even if it's scary. And that's what I really liked about the character development of KB in this episode. And, again, tying in Wim's desire to help and save people was a really nice touch. Even though it's something just very simple, just like having to find a new part, having to create a new part, to help her with her augmentations. And then you realise it was really life-threatening. And then Wim gets that big confidence boost and she calls him Jedi. And, that's a great little moment, because you start to intermix everyone's character traits and interests and their developments into a sensible story. And I think sometimes in modern TV, there is a lack of kind of subtle and sensible storytelling. Too much of it is, direct and in your face. And it's like, I really liked that they were able to mesh together a lot of those different character moments and give growth to everyone. At the same time, you've got Fern and Neil who are climbing up, and it's another example to Fern of how just because she thinks it's the right way to do things doesn't mean it's the right way to do things. And that, if I was being honest about myself, sometimes I can see myself in that role. Sometimes if you desire to be in control, you think that your way is the best way. And sometimes it can be difficult to listen to the opinions of others, and take that on board and believe that you are wrong. That is a trait that many people have. Again, that inability to see when we are in error. And I really, really liked the way they handled that with Fern, because it wasn't just a sudden, and you could see the progression of it through the series so far. But it's just come to a head in this episode. This was the character development episode, but they did it in a way that didn't just feel like people sitting around talking and coming to these revelations. They mixed it in with, some exciting action scenes, those really wonderful crabs that I love that in the end they were just leading them to the mother who was just going to eat them. And it kind of reminds you that, you can't really trust everyone, no matter how cute and safe it seems to be. And again, just a really wacky idea. These little crabs have all these, bits of scavenged parts tied to them. They can do basic language, but really they are just going to lead you to your death. Again, really, really fun. A nice little twist on that, because you think, I was thinking, these crabs, they are going to show them to like an alternate way, or another ship or something along those lines. And actually, no, they were just leading them to be dinner. And that's great, because it shows you that both groups had, something about them that they were wrong about. Not in a bad way. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone miscalculates their kids again. But just in a way that shows them that you have to work together, to be able to prosper. And again, with the ship, really fun little scenes, of just them working together to get the ship back. And the different elements on, you're starting to see where the characters are coming into this now. You've got KB, who's the engineer who, again, was booting up the ship. You've got Wim, who is the gunner, who is desperately trying to shoot off this big, trash monster machine. You've got Neil, who's the pilot, who is now seemingly capable of flying the ship. And, you've got Fern, who is the de facto captain, but again, is more than, able to assist in any kind of measure, making the decisions. That's really what she is. She's the decision maker in the end. But taking on board everyone's kind of, feedback at this point. And again, the whole destruction sequence, I can't think of a practical purpose of that if that's what it is. I would consider it more of like a sort of streamlined escape pod kind of style, because, that ship looks really cool now. Not that it didn't look cool before, but the kind it's like molting. It's like getting rid of the old skin. And yeah, they lost a couple of engines, and they lost a bit of, hull, but the majority of the ship is intact. They're still capable of flying. They've still got some guns. So I'm just curious as to what the purpose of that would be in space. Maybe it is just a way to escape, because the ship is like more streamlined now. Maybe it's faster, but just less armored, less well gunned. But really, really interesting concept. It's nice to see. And then you've got everything going on with Jod and the pirates. Him making that case. That was very Pirates of the Caribbean. The code, the song, the making the case. For loot. And, he's lucky because that is the only thing that I think would have got him out of that situation, is the promise of unlimited possibilities to make money. And, it's obvious that they are both going to end up back at Aten in the final 2 episodes. And that's going to be where the showdown comes in, where I think Jod will end up saving the kids, turning on the pirates. Maybe the pirates, you're starting to hear the personal stories of the pirates and what they want. And you realise that, they're not just violent, kind of looters. They are people who have dreams and desires and wants, but they've just gone about it the wrong way for whatever reason. So, again, another really well-acted scene by Jude Law there. And, Brutus has not been as big a factor in this show as I thought he might have been originally, but, he's there being the background villain that he needs to be. And like I say, if this does plan to go more than one season, maybe they'll tie in some of that into further stories, further seasons, but I just think, again, another great episode, a very different episode, but it did so much for the story without actually moving anywhere. By the end of it, they've only just left the planet, but we've developed so much and learned so much. KB's accident, which is why she's got the augmentations, all the inadequacies and the insecurities that they have, and they all kind of come out of this with a confidence boost, learning more about each other, being more connected and bonded to each other. It was just a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Again, it was probably a little bit of a shorter one than I would have liked, but here we are. Nothing we can do. But yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next episode.